Hey there, my fellow mariners, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Vintage Story Frostlands, episode 100, Easterly Village Bound. With the map being sketchy, actually feels more like exploration. Yeah, I guess. I just wish there was a rhyme or reason to where it is loading or not. It'd be another cool feature if you could click on the map with like less mouse button to prioritize chunk loading. Because what this is just like, there's a lot of information that needs to be loaded from disk to memory, and it's not sequential. Just phasing in and out at kind of random. And as a result, there's no amount of like waiting for it to load in the sections I want loaded. It's just, there doesn't seem to be like a rhyme or reason or queuing method or whatever. But it'd be cool if you could click to prioritize a specific area. That way you could direct the map's loading preferences, or loading priorities. This kind of reminds me of, this is really nerdy, but like array sorting. There's a bunch of different ways to sort arrays to try to get, you know, them into a specific order. And if you watch videos about array sorting, this looks like some sort of scattered array sort, where it's just, you know, the jigsaw equivalent of like throwing all the jigsaw puzzle pieces on the floor really, really, really hard to try to separate them out to then sort them. But now I'm stuck in the shadow zone. I don't even know where the hell I'm going. I'm gonna go around. Are there jungle biomes? Yes, just nowhere near where I am. So the way the world gen works is that depending on your latitude, it mimics like real world latitudes. So my current latitude right now is like equivalent of maybe the UK or Maine or the border between America and Canada. Like that's roughly how north I am. So if I wanted to get to jungle, I would need to go way the hell south. You know, way farther south than I've ever been before. Yeah, it would probably take a stream or two to sail far enough south to start entering jungle-like biomes. Oh, nice! Okay, I saw it very briefly, but it does look like I can go east from here. I can zoom in and out with plus, minus... Well, I mean, you could do it with the mouse wheel too, right? Oh, I see what you mean. Zooming out on the boat with minus and plus. Oh, that's neat. Thanks. Well, we're heading east now. That's good. We're actually making eastern progress. For the longest time, we were just sailing around this big honker. It is noon. It's only -1. Oh, there's a caravan right there, like right on the shore here. A trader. I do have gears. You know what? I'm gonna make a quick pit stop. I did pick up where are they? 10 gears. Might as well check what they have. It really isn't out of the way. And then I could also get the bowl off of the elk. Oh, I thought of Tokyo drifting away. You are a building materials trader. Well, that's certainly not going to be all that helpful for me, because I don't really need wallpaper or shingles or glass or anything, but okay. Yeah, my bowl was here. Cool. So the spelt meals, the meals made of grain, like the one I just ate, are going to be prioritized over anything else, so they can raise my grain nutrition more than anything else. Okay, we're underway again. Fail of a pit stop. Oh, beautiful. The map's actually loading. So while I have some vision, I'll mark down. Can I put a storage vessel on out? I could put a storage vessel that's empty in its saddlebags, but that's the best I could do. Cheers. I should also remember that I'm without a temporal gear, which meaning I have to be like extra cautious, because if I died I'd spawn at the lazarette, which would be pretty miserable. Should have brought one more than one, but oh well. I heard that you can prioritize the game in the task manager. If that helps, is that true? Well, in the task manager, the priority is mostly for processing, for CPU. So I don't know if that's going to really help with... It really depends on what the bottleneck is for the game. I think, for me, I'm probably up against the bottleneck of Java and not of hardware. Just because I have a pretty powerful machine. So your mileage may vary, I guess is my answer. Yeah, for me, what I suspect is that there's a memory limitation within Java. It's maybe possible to modify the Java engine to allow it to have more access to more memory so that the map would load better, but I haven't actually... Oh, this is C#. Regardless, it's probably a memory limitation what is allocated for the game, which is why the map and map chunks load, because if you loaded all of the chunk data, it would probably quickly exceed what is available to most machines. Just a rough guess. But if you're wondering about performance of my specific computer, I am using about 25% CPU and for 35 to 40% GPU. But I'm also encoding and streaming, so there's a bit of that overhead as well. This isn't just pure hardware usage for gaming alone. Ooh, more berries. And then for memory, less than half of my memory is being used. But how much of that memory is specifically for this game? That is the big question. This is taking 15 gigs. It's a lot of memory. The more you travel in this game, and the more zones you have loaded in one given time, the more memory it's going to hog. This game's like the PC game version of Chrome. Sorry, Chrome, but for real. What the hell? I'm quite pleased that my elk has not disappeared like it did at the start of the stream, though. I was struggling at the start of the stream to get the elk to cooperate. It's also worth noting, I don't think... Is this... What stone is this? I'm gonna go check. Oh, we are definitely gonna get home to the berry greenhouse bearing fruit. Well, so right now, my home is not in game memory, meaning that like things aren't happening at home. It's in a frozen state. But once I get home, the berries will definitely start fruiting. So this is definitely like sandstone, but what I'm curious about is the light gray stone. I think it's slate and granite, maybe. Yeah, it's granite. It's sandstone, granite, and slate. Claystone. Yep. I really like the strata here of that mountain to the right side. It's like granite to slate to claystone to chert to something else. Soil? Yeah, to low fertility soil to medium fertility soil. Oh, is that red clay? What was that? I don't know. I'm trying to stay on task so that it looks like pea. It didn't look like pea to me. All right, I gotta know. Also, it looks like we have cranberries to eat too. Quick pit stop. Oh, it totally looks different now than when I was... Oh, it's this. It's just claystone gravel. How's our nutrition doing? We are up... Oh, we're even higher. 22.2. Sweet. For those that don't know, just a reminder, the more you fill your nutrition bars, the higher your max HP goes. So right now I'm basically maxed on protein, but I have room for grain and room for fruit more than anything else. So eating grains and fruit right now would benefit me the most, which is what I'm trying to do. Eating my grain availability is all about to spoil my spelt porridges. So I'm trying to eat the spelt porridges over anything else. And then once I'm out of spelt porridges due to spoilage, I'll start to eat the berries that I've been picking. We're at 12K, so we have a 8K east to go. Well, Walt, thanks for dropping by and lurking. Cheers. Too bad I can't chisel glacier ice into a cooler. That'd be nice. Chunk it into little blocks to act as a refrigerant. Stick it in my vessel. That'd be a neat mechanic. This island looks like a headless chicken. So a bunch of tiny islands. Ooh, it's really coming down now. There's a big landmass. That must be this chicken island. So this is again at 2100. It looks like I can see all the way up to about 1400, or 14,000 rather. 21,000, 14,000. I'm really hoping this doesn't become a big continent I have to sail around. That would be a drag. We're only around halfway there? Yeah. Well, we're at 12,000 out of 21,000, so it's a long way off. I'm very pleased it's above freezing, though. I mean, I know I'm getting soaking wet, but because it's warm, my hunger rate is only just a flat 100, meaning I don't have to eat more than normal. There is, oddly enough, a kind of advantage to having a really high hunger rate. You know what? Actually, that is a good point. I'm going to intentionally make myself hungry because I would like to eat as much grain as I can, but I don't have room for it. So if I make myself intentionally very hungry, I can eat more grain and get more grain satiety before all my grain spoils. So, oddly, I'm going to make myself hungry on purpose. For the nutritional benefits, exactly. Sounds stupid, but there's logic in it. So now I'm 42% more hungry. Packed them calories in. Like a true Polynesian. We have so many light sources active right now on this boat. The boat has a lined lantern. The elk has a lined lantern, and I have a lined lantern. I mean, I know light sources don't stack, but like, this boat is the brightest thing for miles. I'm glad it's not like an angler fish, like attracting sea monsters or something. I mean, the happy music doesn't lend itself to, like, horror like that, but... Oh, thank God. Yeah, it's just a tiny little island. Please, nothing in the way. Yeah, one game I really enjoyed was Dredge, which was a Lovecraftian fishing horror game. It was a really tight and a well-designed game. I like that Dredge quite a lot. Might have to play something peaceful tonight? Yes, sir. Feel like Against the Storm to relax? I don't find I mean, I love Against the Storm. I wish my, oh, that's so cool. It's like rendering in snow. I wish my audience liked Against the Storm as much as I do, because I would happily play it more than I do. Like, the last time I played Against the Storm was for the DLC update, and I didn't even really get to the DLC update content, which was disappointing. Or at least it disappointed me. Boating seems better than climbing mountains. Yeah, it's more the fact that, like, fall damage is so fatal, right? If I had to go overland via elk, I would have to be extraordinarily careful not to fall in any pit caves hidden by, like, bushes and undergrowth, because you can very easily just fall to your doom, and then your spawn point is like a bajillion miles away. It's basically you're just never going to get back to your gear before it despawns. In cases like that, I might even just suck up the pride and just dev mode, fly back to my corpse or something. Because otherwise, the series would effectively end. Bill, thank you for the resub. So I am trying not to have the series end due to personal failures. And I fully know that I am way out here without a temporal gear for a respawn point. If If I wasn't streaming, I would be tempted to go to a rift at night and farm drifters until I got like a temporal gear for a respawn point. I don't think I'll do that. I'll just go to the village, but I'll just have to be extraordinarily careful in doing that. And we are so far from home. So we're at 14,000 and still heading east. You need a giant eagle in the next game out? Is that a Lord of the Rings meme there? Like, why didn't Gandalf just put Frodo on a rock and send him away? Oh, that's why I was getting spooky music. There's a rift underwater. But what's at the village that makes us want to go there? So, let me recap what we've done so far. So this whole journey started off by us going to the Residence Archive, which was a special, let's call it dungeon, that the treasure hunter trader told us to go to. And we traded him a bronze pickaxe for it. We got to the archive and searched it for evidence about what the archive was about essentially archiving human knowledge in the face of mass extinction, which would be the TLDR. So the archivists did everything they could to preserve the knowledge of humanity within the archive, as well as information about the disease that was essentially bringing humanity to its, end or whatever. Once we got to the archive, inside the archive, it had knowledge about a bunch of other locations other than the archive itself, one being the lazarette, and then there were other locations mentioned as well, but the treasure hunter trader didn't know of any of them except for lazarette. So we went to the lazarette, which is back here, and within the lazarette there was a skeleton clutching the map coordinates, a faded and crumpled letter. If you found this letter, take hope. The path continues on. Show this to the villagers, they can help. And it gave us map coordinates for something called the village, or village. So we're heading there just because some corpse told us to go. Basically, yeah, my spirit, this is a spirit quest given to us by a dead person. That would be the TLDR. Falling off a flying eagle or an airship adds a whole new level of fall damage? Yeah, it would. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't hang out in the Vintage Story forums all that much, but I think the intention of adding boat and elk mechanics was to eventually introduce multi-block mobile constructions. Perhaps the scope of the intentions have pivoted since then, though. I'm not 100% sure. Okay, we are really without a compass now. Cannot see where I'm going. Oh, here we go. Please load. there is an island kind of ahead. We'll have to go around. And yeah, we're at 15,000 now out of 21. Need a times 16 speed. This island does look a bit like a dolphin. Dorsal fins and I don't know, yeah. Something like that. A narwhal with a horn? Great, now you have a song stuck in my head. Spelt porridge. Yeah, we've gained a tenth or a fifth of our health. Oh, hello. Basically nothing but ocean, and still we managed to hit, like, the only landmass around. Thump. Even the elk stood up. I was like, what the hell? Alright, I am going to... Oh no, we have another landmass. Well, I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick, hoping that I don't slam into this island, so I will be right back. I don't believe the village will be underwater. No. I mean, we're nowhere close to it yet, but there's a lot more area to cover. Is it hot or cold? It is 0. Oh, you weren't asking me. Never mind. Wow, that island really got snowy as we sailed by. It's interesting that it was like a localized snowstorm. You can actually see the edge of the storm here. That's really fascinating. That it was like heavy snow over to no snow. Totally so cool that it was just snowing right here. Because none of the other islands we sailed past had snow, right? It was just localized to that one island. And because I was fascinated, the game was like, haha, you get to see it now. And removed all terrain data. I wonder how hard it would be to optimize the, like, map loading. So that's the island we just passed. It looks like there's a trader. Interesting, I don't even see the caravan's icon. There's definitely a trader up there. Like right here, maybe? As you can see the light source. There's a large island. Okay, there it is. Coming into view now. You feel like it regenerates the map all the time as it needs to reflect the surface conditions? Yeah. Absolutely. And I feel like that might not even be all that necessary. In terms of optimization. Like, it could probably update like once a week or something. and only update the things that are like immediately around you, because the weather conditions outside of like your immediate 100 meters is not all that relevant. I mean, that's what in video game what occlusion is called. So in occlusion is in video games is like, you can imagine the player has like a rendering cone, right? And it only really renders what's inside the vision cone of the player, so that it doesn't have to use a lot of processing for all the things that you don't see. But I feel like that sort of occlusion concept is not really applying to the terrain. So like, what's happening to the terrain over here is really not relevant to me as the player, but I'm still updating its statuses regardless, even though it isn't relevant. The other way to do it would be to render the map every time you render a new chunk. Maybe to render it to like a BMP, like a pixel map, so it actually generates an image. And then only update the section of the image where you physically are within a certain radius of what you can interact with. That way, the entire map is a static image, and only the area that you're standing in gets updated. And that would greatly decrease the memory need for traversing the map, because you'd be sailing around a static image, not sailing around actual map data. Something like that. I don't know. I haven't done programming in so long. Maybe that's a harebrained idea. But perhaps it would work. Who knows? It is coming up on daybreak. It's almost 4 a.m. Yeah, I just nommed some grain soup. We are at 18,000, so we're not too far off now. It's not crazy far. You love how my thought process works, very pragmatic. Yeah, well, I mean, I haven't really done a lot of video game coding, but it's still like, you know, generally the concept of how to work through a problem. And I think that's actually might be the approach that I would take, is to, I don't know about the image. Well, there's no way that a static image would be more memory than what we've got going on here. Obviously, really large static images become cumbersomely large and could pose its own problem, but even then you could have it be multiple images in like mega chunks. So like a single chunk in Vintage Story might be like this large, and what you could do is just chop up the entire world map into like multiple large chunk images, keeping it more or less static, only be updated by major alterations to the map tile, you know, digging, cutting down trees, big things. Like individual plants wouldn't matter. You could count individual smaller plants other than trees as not to be updated, or something like that. Just some way to make this work better. But I suspect that if I was the developer, I would just try to make the mapping improved rather than fundamentally change the way it's mapped. That might make more sense. I don't know. No, it's pretty. I like daybreak. Last stream I mentioned my distaste for palm oil. I have not tried any desserts from New Zealand, like, full stop. My distaste for palm oil is similar to my it makes me sound so cranky, but similar to my distaste for imported stuff. Right? I'm not a fanatic about eat local, but like I eat local when I can. So I try to eat, a lot of my diet is based upon the sort of foods that grow around me, for better or for worse. Because the transportation costs of sending exotic foods around the world is, you know, expensive. Hard to imagine there's a village ahead of us. I mean, I think it's beyond the horizon here. Oh, wow. That is some bauxite. I think we're hitting... Yeah, okay. So this... It's only 1,000 distance over land, which is reasonable. Although this is pretty rugged terrain. Granted, it wouldn't have bushes. Yeah, this is a bauxite gravel field ahead of us. Farmers markets are great for that, yeah, and farming co-ops and things like that. And then buying things that are locally sourced from grocery stores. And that's more or less what I do. Exceptions, of course, for coffee. That's why I say I wasn't a fanatic, because I know, like, ain't nobody growing coffee around me. So there's some things that need to be sourced abroad, but... And for that matter, same with chocolate. Thank you for tuning in to Vintage Story Frostlands, which originally streamed live on Twitch, February 27th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Seraphs.